Okay, I think we're live. Brilliant. Let's do this. Bring these earbuds down. How you doing, guys? Scott here, and welcome to episode 2 of Koala Teatime. Just gonna slightly adjust things. There we go. There's a bit more me now. Anyway, so yes, this is episode 2 of my new podcast, Koala Teatime, and we're still figuring everything out. I really wanted to start a podcast, but really didn't know what to do a podcast about. So we're sort of figuring it out along the way. So yeah, each week I'm sort of going to be picking a new topic, and the live chat's there if you want to chime in and ask questions or just say hi, and I'll give you a little shout out. Okay, so yeah, man, Happy New Year, everyone. It's cool. It's 2020. And yeah, man, I'm excited about the year ahead. It's time to look forwards and not look back. Not look back at things that might not have gone right in 2019 or the previous decade. It's all about looking forward and having some vision, and I'm pumped. So today, what I wanted to chat about primarily is my list. So basically, every year I create a list of stuff I want to accomplish that year, and one of the things, I've got a bunch of things doing this year, but so basically, I've got a list of 20 things I want to accomplish in 2020. And so I'm going to sort of like spitball through the list and like elaborate things and go deep. And so some of the things in the list are music goals, some of the things in the list are personal things. And so we'll get into it. And as I said, you got any questions or anything? Drop down into the comments and let's see what's going on. Right, cool. So let's get into it. So let's look at the list. What have we got? Right. So some of these things are really obvious things. So at the moment, if you've been following the channel for a while, I'm building a recording studio in my back garden, which is a bit nuts, but there you go. It's the kind of thing I get myself into. So we're building a recording studio in the back garden, and currently, as I'm speaking, we've got two builders out back who are finishing off the insulation and board in my shed, and you can check out the halfway through that job in my last shed video, which is on the channel. So go check that out. And so yeah, so they're finishing off the board and the insulation right now as we speak, which is really exciting. And putting fence in, and oh man, it's all just happening. And each step of the way, we're just getting closer and closer and closer to getting it done. And just doesn't feel real. And the next step is soundproofing, which could prove to be difficult, or it could prove to be simple. I'm not sure what how things are going to slide, but that's exciting. So getting the studio done, and I think it's gonna. I think a couple more months, and we might be there. Oh, hello, Scott. I'll be waiting for your next songs. That's from Johan Listoges. Sorry if I butchered your name there, Johan, but it's a very lovely name. Thanks, man. I hope you've been enjoying the songs that are up so far. More new songs coming in 2020. We shall get into that in a sec. But yeah, so my number one thing on the list is get the studio done. Like that is the priority, and make it sound good. So yeah, I'll elaborate that on more of the videos. There we go. Okay, so number two, what have we got? Um, Get acquainted with my camera. Yeah, man. So I did another little video a while back. I bought an SLR. It's SLR, SDR, SR. I keep it's got a special name, these cameras. This is it here. This is the camera here. It's this Panasonic Lumix sort of yeah, a special camera. And I got that for doing YouTube. To just up the quality of the videos. And so, yeah, but the problem was I bought the camera cheap because it wasn't coming with a lens. And so, and so because yeah, it didn't have a lens, I had to go out and try and find a lens. And so I bought a lens, but then it didn't fit on the camera. And so I was like, okay, you need an adapter. So I went and bought an adapter, and the people who sold it to me, they sent me the wrong adapter, and they were like, "Oh, we'll just give you a refund." I was like, "Why can't you just send me the right one?" I was like, "No, we'll just give you a refund." So I've had to try and track down the proper adapter elsewhere. So this whole thing is just, I could have just paid 30 extra quid and got a lens kit included. I just, sometimes it's not good to be cheap. sometimes it backfires. So yeah, so I want to, hopefully the adapter will arrive soon and I can fit my lens on and I can actually like look through the camera, because I can't at the moment without a lens. So yeah, hopefully that comes and we'll be able to get the camera going in the videos. So that'll be great. Awesome. So that's number two. What's next on this list? Oh man, oh, personal one. Not eat chocolate for 6 months. Man, this is a big one. This is a really big one. I don't know if anyone else here is giving something up as a resolution, giving something up for 2020, but I am attempting to not eat chocolate till my 29th birthday, which is on the 4th of July. And it's hard, man. It's the 2nd of January and I'm having cravings and I'm seeing like how bad it is and why I need to give up, sugar and chocolate for a while. I mean, I'm not completely giving up sugar. I mean, I have a lot of sugar in my tea. Well, not a lot of sugar in my tea anymore. I have one and a quarter, I think, one and a quarter teaspoons of sugar in my tea. Uh, so I'm allowing that because I need caffeine to survive, and I just can't stand tea without sugar. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm trying to give up chocolate, and in the office today at the place I go teach music, I went in and they were offering me quality streets, and I could still see like, oh man, there's an advent calendar there, and there's chocolates that haven't been eaten. Like, this is how eagle-eyed I am for chocolate. I just seek it out, I just seen that advent calendar and I'm just like, why has no one touched that? And I was like, I could just have a few. It's so small, does it count? And I was like, no, it's the 2nd of January. Pull yourself together, man. I'm just going nuts, man. Oh man, sugar. Anyway, so I'm trying to give that up so I can lose weight, so I can look better, feel better about myself. Because I yeah, health, man. It's good to be looking after your health. Um, cool. So my fourth thing I want to do in 2020 is I want to post 3 videos every week for all of 2020 on YouTube. And so it's a big YouTube goal. Last year I did 2 videos a week, all of 2019, and I can't believe I did that. I mean, to some people that probably doesn't seem like a lot. Some people probably post every day, or like 4 or 5 times a week. But to me, just getting 2 videos out every Tuesday and every Thursday of a whole year, like, that was a big accomplishment for me. So I celebrated with cake. I didn't, but I wanted to. And so it's going to be like, I'm going to do one of these improvised song videos every Tuesday, then podcast every Thursday, and then Saturday, which is going to be the new video, it's going to be bonus. So don't know what that's going to be yet. Saturday's going to be the first one, so I got to figure something out. But it's going to be fun. Cool, man. So that's my fourth thing. Right, what else do we have? Okay, get a new backing band together. I believe that's my number five. So I'm a solo act, and so I'm always going about the place, always traveling around the country by myself to play gigs, and unless I end up supporting a friend's band and I travel with them, and that could be pretty fun. But I'm the one man band kind of thing, and so I miss having a band, man. I really do. My last backing band sort of crumbled to pieces, sadly. So I'm really hoping that this year I can start finding some band members, and get a backing band together again, because there's nothing quite like the camaraderie you get and the chemistry you get when you play in a band together. Like, that's awesome. That's what I love, and I miss that, and I don't have it at the moment in my life. And I think actually I've started to realize like how important it is to me to play with a band. And at work, I run sort of little band practices essentially, and so I get to play with these put together bands every week, and that's kind of fun. But it's nothing quite like having a dedicated group of musicians where you really gel together and you can have fun on stage a bit more. I'm not going to stop doing solo gigs, of course, because that's my bread and butter, but I really like getting a band together. That's one of the aims for this year. Anywho, let's keep looking. What do we have? Da 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 da. Okay. Oh, it's a personal goal. Be comfortable with where I am. Man, that's there you go. That's a deep one, isn't it? Deep. Yeah, man. It's that's something, as someone who's very like aspirational and trying to get somewhere with my music and my art, you know, being comfortable with where I am in the present can often not happen. It can often be really uncomfortable. I can just, you constantly comparing yourself to other people. It's just, it stresses you out. You're always thinking, why am I not there yet? And yeah, it can suck the joy out of life. And so in 2020, I want as a little bit more personally, just being able to like look at where I am in life and go, you know, this is okay. You're here right now, you're in the moment, be comfortable, and be content with what you have, but also keep trying to get forward. It's being ambitious, and also content at the same time. It's trying to find a balance, if that exists. I don't know. I don't know how to do it, but I think it's going to be more of that sort of Ferris Bueller sort of, life goes really fast. If you don't stop and look around every now and then, it can pass you by. That whole thing, I don't want life to pass me by. I want to be in the moment and look at where I am and appreciate where I am, and try to find that. So you see, just watching me talk about it right now, you can just see how much there's sort of that conflict there. And I don't know if other people find that. So if you have a similar thing, comment in the stream and let me know. Uh, Cool beans. Right, moving on down the list. I think that was number 6. What do we have? Du-du-du-du-du-du-du-du. Okay, remix and remaster from Stains with Love in the new studio. Okay. Basically, I released a new album in 2019 called From Stains with Love. Stains is sort of a place just down the road from where I am, where it has been a big part of like my musical, formation. I played there a lot growing up, and I still play there a lot. And it's yeah, that's why I called it From Stains with Love. That, and I thought it was a fun title anyway. So when I released the album, I put it out into the world, and a bunch of stuff happened around the release of it. I've been working so hard, my body just shut down, and I got really ill. I just got a massive cold. I was not in a good state, and I now had to go out and play like 5 nights in a row, something like that. I had to go out and just gig hard, and I was in such a state that I just really wasn't in the gigs, and I wasn't in the release of my album, and I building up to it all year, and then to get there and get really ill. Plus, like, something else happens, and like, haven't really talked about this online before because I didn't want to give this person any theatre really. But I'm going to talk about it a little bit in vague terms. Basically, on the day of the release of the album, I put it out on YouTube and said, "Hey, it's out. Go listen to it." And I was really like heartwarmed to the fact I had like 30 or 40 people from YouTube head over and stream the album and download it for free, and was saying nice things about it. And it was a huge thing for me because, as I said, spent like 9 months up till then working on it. So the album's out there, and I get contacted by someone that performed on the album, someone I wasn't in contact with anymore. There was big falling out in the past, and we just weren't talking. And this person put a few little tracks on the album, and they called up to basically sort of have a go at me and demand I take their parts off the album. Um, Even though like there was no problem with him putting the tracks on to begin with, and we never discussed, taking them off. He got very arsy with me and said some very nasty things about the album itself, about me, was threatening legal action. And I was like, come on, man, like, I'm releasing this album for free on the internet. Like, it's not big stakes behind it. It's not as if I'm making millions off of this, and threatening legal action. And it was just a really cruddy move, was really heartbreaking and ruined my day. It ruined my day. I mean, I was coming down with something. As I said, I was getting ill, but then for this person to come out and say these things and do these things, like, it really screwed with my day, and it really felt like that's what that person wanted. And yeah, I mean, I've said it now, it's out in the open, but it's sad these things happen. And sometimes friendships, relationships, they break down, and it can be just messy, you know. But that's it. I went and I played to the album launch that night, and I really tried to give it my all. And I had lots of friends there, and they were really supportive. And we had a nice time, but something inside of me had just been cut, and had just been cut down, and it was sucky. So coming back to my point of this year, I'm going to remix and remaster the album. It ties into a later point, which is essentially I'm gonna not redo the album, but I'm gonna I'm gonna do a slightly different cut of it so I can get away with re-releasing it. Um, and so I can go tour it and do a new launch for it, fresh start, because the launch of the album for me was botched by illness and personal circumstances and all that stuff. So once I get in the new studio and I get it all set up, one of the first things I want to do in there is, yeah, take the album that I worked on all year with headphones on and get it on big speakers and just do a bigger, bolder interpretation of it and get it out there, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. So that's one thing we're hopefully going to go for in 2020. I hope you guys are finding this interesting. By the way, I'm having fun. Cool beans. What's next? Du-du-du-du-du-du-du-du. Cool. So the next one's pretty quick, which is just tour the album. Tour the album. As I said, gonna launch it, remix it, everything, and put it out into the world, and then gonna tour it. Gonna go play it all across the UK as much as possible, and I just didn't gig a lot in 2019 because I was really focusing on YouTube, and I was focusing on mixing. And then back in March, I had a fall and like really twisted my ankle, and I just couldn't perform as much. The doctor was just like, if you perform lots, it'll just get worse and it'll stay bad for longer. And it's starting to just get better now. So yeah, this year I really want to get back out there and play more again, because I just miss it. It's as much as I love doing YouTube, and I really love doing YouTube. Like, there's nothing quite like playing live, is there? For the musicians out there, you can probably vouch for that. You just get such a rush, so these butterflies in your stomach when you're on stage, and just the immensity of it. It's just nothing quite like it. So this year I've got to go out there and play more, and going out and touring and playing all around the country is crazy, man. Like, I did it 2015, 16, 17, and 18. Didn't in 2019. No, I did go around and play quite a few gigs, but going out on the road, basically stuffing your car full of Jaffa cakes and drum kits and guitars and going out to some town or city you've never been to and playing to 5 people. There's nothing quite like that feeling. And it kind of sounds a bit sad, but there is something really awesome about it. And just when you make an album, you write them, you rehearse them, you record them in a studio. There, you got to go out and gig it and try and sell it. And one of the cool things about that, I mean, I like the marketing stage. I like finally putting it out to the world, and going around to people at the tables, being like, "Hey, you want a CD? You want to sign up for the mailing list?" All that stuff. I love that interaction at the venues. um I love talking to people about stuff, but there's something about taking that music that's just been sitting in a rehearsal studio and on tape all this time, and then taking it live and trying the songs out every night, and the songs grow and evolve beyond what's on the album. You think what's on the album, that's like the final version, but actually once you take it out on the road and you're playing it in front of new audiences, songs grow, songs expand. Sometimes whole new sections happen to songs. You expand choruses, you play a chorus 3 or 4 times in a row or something. Just who knows what happens. You create big epic intros into things, and by the end of the thing, you're like, let's go back in and re-record the album because it sounds and feels completely different now. And that's so cool. I love that. And just you sound different in different venues, and that's really cool as well. You don't sound the same because of the acoustics, and because the way you interact with the crowds, that impacts the set and it impacts the songs. And oh, Mudasir, hey, you Mudasir, how you doing, yo? uh cool beans. Yeah, man. So, as I said, I really want to get back out on the road this year coming. I'm excited for that. So I've got to start booking stuff. We've got to get a band together. So it's got to happen. What's next? Da-da-da-da-da. Keep saving money. Oh, mate. Oh, money, 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 money. All the builders have gone. Oh, oh dear. Anyway, um, yeah. So saving money, man, is difficult. And pretty much when I decided to, basically go part time in work and focus more on gigging, and focus more on doing music back in summer 2015. Between summer 2015 and I think maybe like November 2018, I was just dead broke, just had no money. And, it was a tough time. I thought it was going to be easy. I thought I'd get by. Um, Muda said, "Wait, you work?" Yeah, man, I work. I work part time at a prison, and I teach music there 1.5 days a week. And the money from that essentially pays pays for food, pays for car insurance, pays other bills. My membership in the musicians union. Nice, yeah, man. Yeah, it's not bad. And then I gig the rest of the time, and that's how I get by. But yeah, so yeah, saving money was really difficult for that block of like 3 years or so, from 2015 to 2018. And then I got some extra work at another place and on the Isle of Wight, and that started bringing in extra money. And because I was so used to not spending anything, I just saved a lot of it, and I've managed to get enough money that I've just been more comfortable. Well, I was more comfortable in 2019 for all of the weirdness that happened last year. And that's a whole other podcast. But for all the weirdness that happened last year, I saved a good amount of money, and just I could go to the supermarket and buy some cheesecake, you know, and not feel and not feel bad about it, not feel like I was completely broke. Mudis is saying, "Why do you always wear that hat?" I always wear the hat, Mudis said, because when I don't wear the hat, people on this channel get upset. It's sort of this hat. I mean, if you want to know the story about the hat, go back to the last video, the last podcast, and in that video, in that podcast, I talk about the story behind the hat and how I came to own this hat, and what it kind of represents. But last year, not last year. This is going to keep happening. I'm going to keep referring to last year as thinking it's 2018 because I still think I'm 2019. 2 years ago now, back in 2018, this happens every year. Back in 2018, I was on tour of the band, and my hair was pretty long, and I just didn't have time or the money, you know, or to go get my hair cut. And so I decided, screw it, man. I got a shaver. I'm just gonna shave it all off. And so I skinhead, nearly a skinhead. I shaved it all down, and we just as we were about to do that, as I did that, we made our way up north to Scotland and just gigging our way gradually up to the Edinburgh Fringe where we played. And my head was just really cold. We're in Newcastle and it's freezing, and I'm just like, this is the true north. And so I was like, right, I need a hat, and I just always have this hat on me. So I started wearing the hat and making videos with it on, and people just like, I love the hat, I love the hat. And so whenever I took the hat off Mudasir, people would get upset and say, "Where is the hat? Put the hat back on. What's going on? Are you and the hat having a thing? Is it okay?" So that's why I always wear the hat. But yeah, check out podcast number one, Mudasir. I think you'll like it. Okay, so keep saving money. Yeah, save more money this year. Even though I'm building a recording studio, I'm trying to save money. That's interesting. I've completely lost track of numbers, how many I've done. Um, let's just keep going. What else have we got? Gig more. I've kind of said that already, haven't I? I just want to gig more this year, man. Let's do that. Okay, here's an interesting one. I mean, it's just been Christmas, so I don't want to talk too much about Christmas because we're all like, Christmas, why are you talking about it? I just escaped." And yeah, man, Christmas is unique, and it's what it is, isn't it? But yeah, Christmas, man, I did an improvised song video. and I did it on the theme of Christmas, and I got you guys to suggest song titles, Christmas song titles for me to improvise songs to, and I got 6 or 7, something like that. And the first 3 I did, I posted individual videos for on the channel. See you, Mudasir. Yeah, and so I did a few videos. Yeah, I did a few Christmas, improvised song videos, and I got some Christmas songs that I liked, because for years I was trying to wrap my head around how to do a Christmas song and just struggling with it. It's like, how do you write a Christmas song? It just seems impossible. It's kind of gotta, you know, it's kind of got to have an almost retro Christmassy sort of sound, this sort of timeless feel, and it's got to be really happy. And I'm not sure I actually write happy songs, but I really want to write a Christmas song, because it'd be fun. And so doing that video where I had to improvise 6 or 7 Christmas songs in like 20 minutes, it forced me to just boom, come up with stuff on the spot. And as I said, I came up with 3 um, in that video that I really liked, that I've posted individually. And so one of them specifically, I'm rejigging, editing, and I'm gonna hopefully release at the end of the year, at the end of 2020, and hopefully it's gonna sound great, and it's gonna be a bit like John Lennon meets the Darkness in their Christmas songs. And so I'm excited for that. But that's a goal for like the last third of the year. I don't really want to think about Christmas or anything then. So yeah, there you go. What else do we have, man? What else is on the list? Um, Bring friends in to record at the studio. Yeah, so one thing I want to do, man. So as I'm building the studio, once it's built, I'm not going to stop shooting videos in the studio. I'm going to keep doing stuff. And one thing I want to do is I want to build up a portfolio of sounds from the studio. And so I want to have a website with lots of different songs that you can listen to that were recorded and mixed and mastered in the studio. That's the plan. And um yeah, and so I want to just bring my friends in and record them for free in the studio, and have their songs up on the website to show off the studio essentially. So that's one thing I really want to do, because I want to help my friends out, and I want to build a name for the studio. So that's something I'm aspiring to, but we got to get there first. So that goal's a while off. What else do we have? Da, 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 da. Oh man, here's a personal one. It's a really small one, but it's learn to cook another meal. So I don't know about you, man, but I really love cooking. Someone's knocking at the door. Do I need to do anything? Nah, I'm recording a podcast, so I'm not going anywhere. So like I last time I learned to cook a new meal, I think was in 2017, and I learned to cook this Jamie Oliver really quick curry that I have every month now. It's really easy to make, hence quick curry. And so I have that every month. But that was the last meal I learned to make, and that was like almost 3 years ago. And so it's time I learned something new. And I used to have a thing where at like New Year's Day every year, I would learn a new meal. I'd cook a new meal, and that would be like the one I learned. And I've just let it slide for too long, man. And I need to eat some different food, because there's only so many times I can make myself shepherd's pie, which I make a darn good shepherd's pie. So don't get me wrong. But yeah, need to cook more meals and more healthy meals, because I gotta lose the weight, gotta look good. Um, yeah. Cool. What else do we have, man? What else is on the list? Uh do Christmas song. Yeah, we've done that. Start recording album number 4 in the studio. So I released the 3rd album last year, and as I said, I'm planning to re-release it again this year with some trim on the side. But next year, I'm hoping to release album number 4. I want to do one every 2 years. The Arctic Monkeys, who are my favorite band, they were their first album, 5 albums they released, 2 years apart. from '05 all the way up to 2013, and I just found that so enthralling, and I just felt they got better and better with each album. And I think part of that is they didn't let up; they just kept the momentum going. And so I want to keep momentum up myself. And so yeah, I've pretty much got the idea for album number 4 done, and I'm not sure if do I talk about it? Is it too soon to talk about it? Because I don't know, maybe it's a bit too soon. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm gonna save it for another time. But I've got a unique idea of what I'm going to do. Basically, I got this song called Two Cats I wrote back in 2018. That I'm really proud of that song, and it's sort of become like my big set ender song. It's a big sing along song, and I'm really proud of it. And yeah, I can't wait to put that out into the world and share it with people. But I really want to take time to get it just perfect, perfect. And yeah, the lesson I learned last year with the third album is, even though it might sound perfect in your head, when you actually get it out there and put it on paper, it might not be as perfect as you think. A lot of hard work to get it there. Have to be prepared to put in that hard work to get there, and you're wrestling with, oh, if I just keep it for 6 more months I can make it even more perfect. But whereas it's also that feeling of, I need to get this out there so I can start something new, because I've been working on this for 9 months anyway. So yes, I'm going to start work on the new album, hopefully not spend as long on it as I spent on the other one. Hopefully have a lot of fun making it, and hopefully you'll enjoy it too. And it's going to have two cats on it. Anywho, so let's move on with the list. I've completely lost track of numbers. I didn't number these. Probably should have. Um, oh, here's one. Oh, another personal one. Oh dear. I think I'll do this one and the one after, and then we'll call it a day. Because I want to try and keep the podcast down to around half an hour. Anyway, so so one of the other things on my list of things I want to do this year is not put myself into boxes. And so last year, when my job in the Isle of Wight fell through, I was a bit stuck because I've been earning good money and was getting comfortable, and I was like, oh no, like how am I going to be financially? So I started applying for jobs that weren't music jobs. And it was a big sacrifice on my part because I've been full time music for so many years, and it felt like I was letting myself down. And I felt like, oh, I need money, getting a bit older, it'd be really nice to own my own place and do all that sort of stuff. So need to go get money. And so yeah, started applying for all these crazy, crazy jobs. And okay, I'll tell you about one. Okay, I told the story in Christmas Day, and it got a laugh. So here we go. So I applied for one music job and got an interview for this job. And so the job was going to be in Woking, which is in Surrey here in the UK. And the job interview was in like Buckinghamshire or something like that. It was quite far up from Woking. So I was like, okay. And so I got there for the job interview, and basically the job itself was basically going into retirement homes and playing music for the residents there. And so I thought that sounds pretty easy. Go into a retirement home one afternoon, have some tea, play some Elvis. Like that would be great. That would be really fun. And so I applied for that job, and I got to the place where the interview was happening, and it was at this old scouts hut, essentially. So I get there and I go into the scouts hut, and the whole room was just filled with women, no guys. And there was like 30 women there. There was a lot, and I was the only guy. And you know, I'm comfortable. I'm a comfortable person. I'm comfortable in my own skin. But there's something about suddenly being at a job interview in a room full of women, which has happened to me a few times. You do feel like the elephant in the room, and occasionally I have had women go, "So, are we going to talk about the elephant in the room? We're going to talk about the man." And so here's me at this job interview, and they're all staring at me, and I'm just like, "Oh no, not this again." Then this woman, I think her name was Helen, she goes, "Oh, you must be Scott," and I was like, "You think?" And she's like, "Come, sit down. We're gonna talk about the job." And so she said, "So yeah, you're going to be going into retirement homes, and you're going to be, doing music sessions there." And I'm nodding along, going, "Yeah, yeah, this sounds okay." And the whole time I'm listening, there's this woman to my right, and she's just staring at me with an eyebrow raised the whole time, and I'm just like, "What's her deal?" Making me feel even more awkward here. Okay, and so yeah, I'm I'm just trying to listen and trying to ignore her. And so she's like, "Yeah, so you'll go into retirement homes and you run the music sessions, and we give you all the equipment you need to do it." And I'm like, "Cool, cool." And she goes, "So we'll give you all the music equipment you need." And I go, "I got my own equipment, but it's cool. You're going to provide it. That's cool." And then she goes, "And we'll give you all the exercise equipment you need." Hang on. It I sort of put up my hand and go, "Excuse me, Helen, exercise equipment?" She goes, "Yes, so while you're playing the music, we want the residents to get get some exercise and get energetic and get up on their feet." And, and she says, and so Jasmine now is going to demonstrate for us some of the exercises that you're going to be doing. Sort of, reluctantly turn to my left, and there's this, 50-year-old woman, all in lycra, on a gym mat. The crowd sort of parts like the Red Sea to reveal her there, and she's just doing all these big sort of exercise moves, and my just jaws falling open because I was like, I thought I was applying to play music in a retirement home, and now apparently I'm teaching a Zumba class. What's going on? And so the woman to my right is still staring daggers at me, and so I feel awkward. I can't move. I'm not going anywhere. So at this point, I'm like, this probably isn't the job for me, but I'll just keep listening. And I go, okay. So she goes, yes. So we provide all the music equipment all you need, all the exercise equipment you need. And I'm like, And then she goes, and we provide you with your very own bubble machine. I was like, sorry, Helen. Bubble machine, you say? And she goes, yes. So while you're playing the music and the residents are exercising and getting the blood flowing, we also want it to be really fun. So there's going to be a bubble machine. And I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I got no words at this moment. I'm just thinking, okay, what kind of job is this that are going to old folks' homes essentially with a bubble machine and and some sort of weird exercise, and I'm gonna be there playing Elvis. I was like, this is weird, and I'm a musician. Like I've done some weird jobs, but this takes the biscuit. And so they're going through it, and they go, right, the next part of the interview, basically we're going to be talking about some things that you can't talk about with anyone else, so we need you to sign an NDA. And I'm thinking, what the hell, like, why do I need to sign an NDA? What are you about to tell me? I was just like, what, you about to give me spoilers for the next Marvel movie? Like, what is it? I was like, this is strange. And I looked at this NDA and I looked around me, and the woman is like signing her form while still staring at me out the corner of her eye. I'm just like, man, this is awkward. I need to get the hell out of here. And so I looked down at this NDA, and I thought, I'm gonna be really dramatic, and I'm gonna stand up and slam the NDA down and be like, I'm not signing this NDA, and just peg it out of there, you know. But I feel frozen to the spot. I'm just surrounded by all these women, and this very very strange job interview. I'm thinking, I'm not going anywhere. I won't get out alive. Uh, this is me now, and so I signed the NDA. And I think, oh no, how strange, how much weirder can this get? And so I think Helen, she turns to the woman in lycra, and she's like, Jasmine, I think we'll start them off with the feather boas. And no word of a lie, like this woman in the lycra opens up this very large cardboard box full of feather boas, scarves, these feathery, frilly scarves, and I'm like, I do not know what's about to happen with these scarves, but I'm not going to be involved. And that's when I jumped out of my chair and I go, you know what, Helen, I don't think this is the job for me. And the woman next to me goes, yeah, you think? And I pegged it out of there. I got into my car, and I burst out laughing. I just drove home laughing, and I've been telling that story for like a year now, and I still can't believe that happened. And like, they advertised it as just going in and playing in an old folks home. Um but it was something else entirely. Daniel's down in the comments saying could have been the start of your career as an exotic dancer. Yeah, and what a left turn that would have been from musician to exotic dancer. You wouldn't think a retirement home is where your career as an exotic dancer would start, but apparently in Buckinghamshire, that's where it goes down. So it's bizarre. I just seem to get myself into weird situations like that. And so when I refer to 2019 being a bit weird for me, that's one of the things I'm referring to. Like it was a really, really just strange time. Anyway, cool beans. So I think I got one more thing left on my list, and then we're going to call it a day here in the podcast. I hope you've been enjoying it. This has been a lot of fun. Um, Cool. So the last thing on the list is a really obvious one, which is to try and hit 1,000 subs here on YouTube. And basically, if you've been around for some of my journey here on YouTube, if you've been around for the last year, you might have seen I started off last year with 51 subscribers. I don't know how I found those people, but they found me. And I managed to build it up to like 825 something at by the time of New Year's Eve, and I don't really know how I did it. Just kind of went out there and said hello, and it happened. I guess I've been putting out videos every week, and they say if you want to grow on YouTube, you have to be consistent. So that's what I've tried to do, and so yeah, we're getting close to 1,000, and that would be really cool. You know, um, that would be a really cool milestone to hit you know, this year. And it's not, it's, it, that seems more like a number mathematical thing. And I kind of hate it in one respect because I don't want to think about people in terms of numbers and thinking, oh, I need more numbers on my screen. I want it to be like a genuine like interaction like this. Doing this live stream is really cool because you get to interact with people live, and that's just it feels more real, doesn't it? And I just yeah, that's what I want real solid uh interactions with everyone, with all 800 something people. That would be really cool. And even yeah, if and when we get to 1,000 subscribers, for just to find new people who engage with the channel, engage with what I'm doing here, and that would be really cool. So if we can get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of 2020, hey, that would be great. Cool, man. Cool. So this has been a blast. Thank you for listening to episode 2 of the Koala Teatime podcast. I am Scott Freeman, your podcast host, and the format of this podcast is going to kind of keep evolving. I'm sort of like each week decide something to talk about and try to find something I think would be interesting to listen to at least, or just something that's going to provoke conversation, get me to tell stories and things, because that's what I love doing. So thank you for listening, thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, um, stay awesome. Have a great week and happy New Year. Peace, guys. See you later. Bye.